You ever hear a fact so surprising it completely shifts the way you look at your own body? Well, here's one of those facts. According to leading men's health experts like Dr. Jesse Mills, one of the biggest reasons men struggle with arousal, performance, low libido, or even difficulty maintaining intimacy has nothing to do with testosterone, nothing to do with age, nothing to do with stress, and not even pornography, relationship issues, or exhaustion. The hidden factor is your thyroid. Yes, the same tiny butterfly-shaped gland in your neck that most men never think about. The same gland your doctor probably has never checked properly. And the same gland that, when it's even slightly off, can completely derail your sexual function without you having the slightest clue. And in this video, I'm going to show you the little-known science behind how your thyroid controls sexual arousal, why so many men are misdiagnosed or never diagnosed at all, and the exact steps you can take starting today to reclaim your energy, your drive, your confidence, and your sexual performance. I'll break down the quiet biological mechanism that nearly every doctor misses, the specific labs you must request, the daily habits that either repair or destroy your hormonal balance, and the simple strategies to restore your thyroid-sexual axis so you can finally feel like yourself again. Stick with me because I'm going to show you the link most physicians skip. The link that could be the key to getting your arousal, excitement, and vitality back without medication, without guesswork, and without complicated treatments. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, wait, thyroid? I thought that only mattered for metabolism. You're not alone. That's exactly the problem. Most men spend years feeling low energy, disconnected, uninterested in sex, and frustrated with their performance, without ever realizing the root cause is hiding in plain sight. And once you understand this relationship, everything suddenly makes sense. I want you to understand why I'm telling you this. I've worked with countless men, just like you, who showed up with what they called mysterious issues. Issues like sudden loss of libido, difficulty staying aroused, erections that used to be strong but now feel unreliable, mood swings that feel unfamiliar, and even a strange disconnection from desire, as if the body isn't responding the way it used to. And maybe you're feeling guilty or confused, thinking something must be wrong with you. But the truth is, something is wrong, and it's not your fault. It's that this one essential gland is silently sabotaging you from behind the scenes. Let me tell you a quick story that perfectly illustrates the problem. A 42-year-old guy came to see a colleague of mine. Let's call him Mark. Married, 2 kids, successful career, in decent shape, eating okay, working out semi-regularly. But for the first time in his life, he felt no sexual desire. None. He thought he was burned out. His wife thought he was stressed. His family doctor told him he was just getting older. They checked testosterone. It looked normal. They checked his cholesterol. It was fine. They checked his blood pressure. Also fine. But a single test was missing. The one test that would have told the whole story. Turns out, his thyroid, specifically his T3 levels, was running low. Not dangerously low. Just slightly suppressed. But that tiny shift was enough to crush his libido, blunt his arousal response, drain his energy, slow his blood flow, and make him feel like something inside him had quietly shut off. Once he addressed his thyroid, everything changed. His energy returned. His confidence returned. His arousal came back online. He felt alive again. And he eventually said something that I hear from men all the time. I wish someone told me this earlier. That's exactly why I'm telling you today. Because whether you're 25, 40, 55, or 65, this gland influences the very foundation of male sexual function. When it's off, your entire system becomes sluggish, including your metabolism, your mood, your blood flow, your hormones, and your desire. And when it's optimized, everything improves. Let's start with the foundation, the part almost every doctor, including many endocrinologists, will gloss over. You see, your thyroid isn't just a metabolism regulator. It controls how your cells produce energy, Every single cell in your body relies on thyroid hormones to function properly. But when we talk about sexual arousal specifically, the thyroid is the ignition switch. Without it, you can press the gas pedal all day long, but the engine won't fire. Here's what most people don't know. Sexual arousal starts in the brain way before it shows up in the body. And the brain is incredibly sensitive to thyroid hormones, especially T3, the active form. When T3 is low, even slightly low, the brain struggles to activate the pathways responsible for desire, excitement, and reward. This includes dopamine, serotonin, and even nitric oxide production, which directly impacts erections. Low thyroid function also slows down your pituitary gland, the master hormone controller, which then reduces testosterone production and reduces your sensitivity to testosterone that's already in your system. So not only does your thyroid impact your testosterone directly, it influences how strongly your body responds to testosterone. This is why men can have normal testosterone on paper, but still feel zero desire. Their thyroid makes their entire hormonal system sluggish. It's like having gas in the tank, but the spark plugs are dead. And here's the real kicker. Consistent research shows that even mild hypothyroidism, levels many doctors call fine, can lower sexual interest, impair erectile function, reduce ejaculation strength, and even cause premature fatigue during sex. And the moment thyroid balance is restored, these symptoms dramatically improve. This is not speculation, this is well-documented physiology. But the thyroid doesn't just affect the brain, it affects blood flow, it affects endothelial function, it affects the smooth muscle tissue inside the penis. In other words, it impacts every single step required for arousal. If your thyroid is sluggish, the blood vessels down there can't relax properly. If they can't relax, they can't fill. And if they can't fill, you don't get the sexual response you're expecting. You might be saying to yourself, okay, I get it. The thyroid matters, but what causes it to go off balance? Great question, because this is where the solution begins. Poor sleep, chronic stress, inadequate iodine or selenium intake, excess cortisol, blood sugar instability, inflammation. Even subtle nutrient deficiencies can throw off thyroid conversion, especially the conversion of T4 to T3, which is the step most men struggle with without realizing it. And that brings us to the first core pillar, the foundation, the part almost no man thinks about, your sleep cycle and its direct impact on thyroid health and male sexual arousal. Deep sleep is the only time your body repairs your thyroid receptors. It's the only time your pituitary releases the signaling hormones your thyroid needs to function properly. And it's the only time your body restores dopamine sensitivity, testosterone levels, and nitric oxide pathways. And if you're sleeping poorly, especially with inconsistent hours or blue light exposure, you're hitting your thyroid at the structural level. There's clear evidence that sleep deprivation reduces TSH pulsatility, lowers free T4, increases reverse T3, and suppresses conversion to usable T3. Translation: bad sleep kills your thyroid function. And when your thyroid goes down, your excitement, your desire, your arousal, your erection quality, your energy, and even your emotional connection all go down with it. So what's the immediate, actionable fix? You must do everything possible to restore deep sleep. And I'm talking real, restorative, slow-wave sleep that actually repairs your hormonal system, not just going to bed. Try this tonight. 2 hours before bed, stop blue light. Turn off the overhead lights and use low, warm light. Get into bed at the same time every night. Keep your room cool, between 64 and 68 degrees. And give yourself a wind-down routine that tells your nervous system it's time to repair. And this brings us to the second pillar, the actionable steps. A lot of men want quick fixes, but the truth is the quickest fix is the one that aligns with your biology. You don't need guesswork. You need a protocol. Because when the thyroid is underperforming, you must support both the gland itself and its conversion process. Here's what the simplest but most effective daily support looks like. First, selenium, 100 to 200 micrograms per day. Selenium is essential for converting T4 into T3. Without enough, your conversion drops, and your thyroid output becomes less effective. Second, iodine, about 150 micrograms per day for most men. Not megadoses, just enough to support thyroxine production. Third, zinc, 15 to 30 milligrams per day. Zinc is directly connected to testosterone and thyroid hormone production. Fourth, vitamin D, the foundation of your hormonal signaling. Fifth, magnesium, especially glycinate, because magnesium lowers cortisol, improves sleep quality, and directly supports thyroid enzyme function. Combine those with a whole food mineral-rich diet, and your thyroid function improves dramatically more quickly than you expect. Now imagine this. A man wakes up, takes selenium with his morning meal, adds zinc and magnesium later in the day, increases his intake of seafood and eggs, walks outside for daily sunlight, reduces processed foods, lowers stress, and actually starts sleeping well. Within 10 to 14 days, he'll notice his libido rising, his energy rising, his focus improving, his mood stabilizing. And within 4 to 6 weeks, his arousal response feels naturally strong again. But there's a deeper layer, the hormonal and metabolic link that most people miss entirely. Cortisol, insulin, testosterone, thyroid. These 4 systems are deeply interconnected, and when one goes down, especially the thyroid, the others get thrown out of equilibrium. Take cortisol, for example. Chronic stress increases cortisol, which slows thyroid conversion. When thyroid conversion slows, your testosterone receptors become less sensitive. When testosterone receptors weaken, your body compensates by increasing aromatization, converting testosterone into estrogen. And when estrogen rises in men, even slightly, libido plummets. Blood flow worsens, erections weaken, and sexual arousal becomes harder to trigger. Now let's look at insulin. High insulin, or even frequent blood sugar spikes, slows thyroid function, lowers SHBG, increases free estrogen, and reduces nitric oxide production. And without nitric oxide, erections become physically harder to achieve and maintain. See the pattern? Everything connects back to the thyroid. It's the spider web in the center of your hormonal system. And if one leg of the web is damaged, the entire structure loses tension. Now we move into lifestyle and longevity, the 4th core pillar. You cannot optimize thyroid-sexual health without optimizing the environment your body lives in. And I'm not just talking about diet or exercise. I'm talking about the everyday micro-stresses that slowly drain your hormonal energy. Your thyroid hates chronic inflammation. It hates chronic stress. It hates irregular sleep. It hates dehydration. It hates long periods of sitting without movement. It hates constant blue light. And it hates nutrient-poor meals. Your thyroid thrives when you support your circadian rhythm, when you breathe deeply, when you eat mineral-rich foods, when you move your body, when you maintain stable blood sugar, when you get sunlight, and when you manage stress. And when the thyroid thrives, your sexual function thrives. Your arousal increases, your performance stabilizes, your pleasure becomes deeper, your emotional connection improves, and your relationship becomes more fulfilling. Now, if you're someone who wants the advanced strategies, the biohacking level, then the 5th pillar is for you. This is where the high performers, CEOs, athletes, and longevity-focused men pay attention. Because these strategies accelerate results. First, you must know your labs. And not the basic TSH test your doctor orders. You need a full thyroid panel, TSH, free T4, free T3, reverse T3, TPO antibodies, and thyroglobulin antibodies. You need SHBG, total testosterone, free testosterone, estradiol-sensitive assay, prolactin, fasting insulin, A1C, HSCRP, and vitamin D. Without these, you're guessing, and guessing never works. Second, infrared light therapy. Red light and near-infrared wavelengths directly stimulate mitochondrial energy production, the same mechanism thyroid hormones use. Shine red light on your neck for 5 to 10 minutes per day. Multiple clinical studies show improved thyroid performance, reduced inflammation, and increased T3 uptake. Third, cold exposure. Quick cold showers increase norepinephrine, which increases metabolic rate and stimulates thyroid hormone activation. Don't overdo it. Start with 20 to 30 seconds at the end of your shower. Fourth, carb timing. Eating most of your carbs in the evening can help lower cortisol at night, improve sleep quality, and support thyroid function. Fifth, breath work. Parasympathetic breathing, like slow nasal breathing, lowers cortisol, improves blood flow, enhances nitric oxide, and supports sexual arousal. But of course, no guide is complete without debunking the myths that ruin men's progress. Myth number 1. If your testosterone is normal, your libido should be fine. Wrong. Completely wrong. Libido is not just testosterone. It's testosterone plus thyroid function, plus dopamine, plus nitric oxide, plus your nervous system state. A normal testosterone reading means nothing if your thyroid is underperforming. Myth number 2. Only women have thyroid issues. Again, absolutely false. Men are underdiagnosed because their symptoms present differently. Instead of weight gain and hair loss, men feel low libido, poor erections, irritability, low motivation, and emotional flatness. Doctors don't connect the dots. But you now know the truth. And the biggest mistake men make daily: ignoring low-grade fatigue. Believing that being tired, unmotivated, and uninterested in sex is just life. It's not. It's your thyroid asking for help. So here's your final takeaway. If you want to fix your arousal, energy, and performance starting today, focus on 3 essential steps. First, restore your sleep. This is the fastest, most powerful way to rebuild your thyroid-sexual axis. Second, support your thyroid nutritionally with selenium, zinc, iodine, vitamin D, and magnesium. Third, manage your cortisol through breathing, walking, sunlight, and reducing digital overload. You're not broken. You're not getting old. You're not losing your masculinity. You are simply dealing with a biological system that needs support. And the moment you give your thyroid what it needs, your desire returns. Your performance strengthens, your energy rises, your confidence rebuilds, and intimacy becomes exciting again. If you found this valuable, make sure you watch the next video where we break down the specific foods that either boost or destroy thyroid sexual health. Because when you understand these connections, you're no longer guessing. You're taking control of your biology and your life.